guys, it's October 28th, 2021, and I'm going to be reading on the tunnels and those channels under the pyramids of Giza, and to see what kind of energy is there, what kind of spirit is there, or spirits. So I'm asking the ancestors and the Creator to help me read accurately and clearly on the Giza, that's how you're supposed to pronounce it, pyramids, and what's underneath these, you know, the tunnels and such that are underneath them. Now, the request is by Diva and Diva 369. And she wants to know about the shafts and the tunnels under the Great Pyramid of Giza. She says that Bettany Hughes crawled through tunnels under the pyramids in a new documentary. She's a historian that's claustrophobic and scared of the dark, and said she was terrified. And she relied on the cameraman for help as she crawled through the passageways. She revealed that. So, with her own fear, let's just see what energy is there first, because that's her fear, and I don't want to read on her fear. But let's just see what the energy is under the shafts under the pyramid, the Great Pyramid of Giza, and the tunnels. What is the energy under there? What is in that land? Its energy, spiritually, what's going on under there? So I ask the Most High to assist me to read accurately and clearly, as I am a flawed human being. The Great Pyramids of Giza. What do we need to know about the energy, the spirit that is connected to those shafts and tunnels? So I'm reading on the shafts and tunnels, their energy, what spiritual energy might be present underneath them, under the pyramids, in these shafts and tunnels. All right, here we go. We get the World. So this is the very last card in the tarot deck. It is the end of a journey. And it most certainly, these pyramids do signify a life. They do signify, they were built, you know, by certain, I can't remember who built these ones exactly, but the people that built these built them so that their names would live on, and to acknowledge, I think, also their contribution as a leader and their power and the story of their life completely. It's the sum. It's meant to represent what kind of leader they were, I feel like. And literally at the end of the day, with the World card, I also feel like there's a lot of various energy forms, spirit, if you will, there, both critter, I feel like, and human and otherwise. I feel that there's not just one thing or another. I feel like there is, like this card, the world, that there's a combination, completion. Okay. Just channeling there for a second. All right. Crossing it. It needs moderation. This is a challenge. There is some energy that is too extreme, one way or the other, underneath these pyramids. And there's a need of moderation in a variety of ways. I feel like some of these tunnels need repair. I feel like some of them have, again, a variety of spirits comprise. I think you have Egyptian deities and spirits that exist there, as well as non-human other forms that have come about and existed in that land for years. I mean, like, I'm just feeling ancient energies, because there's something about that land that goes back to before those pyramids were chosen to be put there. It's like a powerful ley line or something. Just what I was getting there for a moment. So that's what's crossing. I think in some of these tunnels, it can be very overwhelming because of this lack of moderation. The star, there's definitely spiritual energy there. Spirit. And it's the kind of energy that is awaiting to transform from the in-between realm, between after death and moving on into higher realms. That's very interesting. I just get this feeling, because for many of these tombs, that there was this kind of this preparation, I feel like, for them, so that when they went out from this in-between realm on into more spirit, more pure spirit, and less intermingled with the earth, if you will, it rises, it shifts, but there's this in-between energy that this is based on. And it also feels like, to me, between worlds. Again, you see her foot in the water and on the land. So I feel like there's a variety, again, of different identities of life. Not life, but yeah, they are a form. But they're in spirit. So again, I just feel like this combination of human, animal, and otherwise. Yes, and it is about rebirth. It is about the end of your earthly existence. There's a lot of death energy there. There's a lot of spirit to assist, to take your spirit and move you into the higher realms, the Grim Reaper, so to speak. But it's really like Angel of Death, whatever you want to call it, very much present there. And that's probably why that poor woman was panicking outside of her own fear of being in a claustrophobic place. She's very brave, because crowning this these pyramids, if you will, these shafts, these underground tunnels, is the major arcana card of death. So it is heavy rebirth energy. It is really less to do about being in an earthly body and more about going into the place of the in-between and onward. And it's like, I feel like spirits that deal with that use that place as a portal, if you will. It's a kind of a, what you call it, a station, that was built for that. Very interesting. Got a lot off that. I hope I was able to articulate that well enough for you guys. Okay. The recent past, we have the Chariot. And this to me feels like I can see Egyptian leaders and people in their chariots. These are leaders. These were people that were successful in leading their nation. This is also about movement, and about their movement, I feel like, from the earth to get them from the earth to an in-between state and then on. It was a place, a means on earth that was sacred and is sacred, that holds that kind of energy. It's like a station in between life on earth, death on earth, to rebirth and going into spirit. That's very powerful energy. So far, we have only major arcana. Yo! The World, Temperance, the Star, Death, the Chariot. But we get the card of some deceit in the near future position. And I'm not really reading about like the future necessarily. I'm wanting to just kind of use this spread as to see what is there that we can't see, so to speak. So I'm feeling that this kind of is a nod toward that, especially with the cards around it. You may not be able to see everything that is there, is the message to me here. That you see the grandeur on the outside, that it looks like, okay, the Great Pyramids of Giza, remarkable, a marvel. But underneath that, this is like an underworld to me. And it is where you've dropped, I feel like, your mortal coil. And there's an underworld connection. So I'm imagining that is really creepy, and I'm feeling like you would pick up death vibes and in-between vibes and spiritual beings that do that kind of work vibes, and those will give you the heebie-jeebies. I know, because I dream of them and they kind of work with me. The King of Pentacles. So this is, I think, the leader that built them. This is in the environment. And this is the kings, because they were all about that king stuff. And even the woman, which one was it? She had her sarcophagus with the beard put on it, because even though she didn't have a beard, it's so that she was acting in what they gave to men. It was typically for a masculine role of authority. But that's what I'm kind of getting with this card, is that overall masculine leadership And definitely, I feel like the leader or leaders that had this work initiated and completed. Wealthy, with the King of Pentacles. Now, in the hopes and fears is the King of Cups, and I'm feeling like this is a hope. I'm feeling like this is a lord of the underworld with the water. That's just immediately what came to me. I think that is, I really enjoy the Egyptian pantheon. I can see it's a dog, right? It's a great name. It's the head of a dog. It'll come to me later. I feel like it's that. God. I'll get it in a minute. His energy is there. And it watches. We get the Page of Swords. So this is energy that is not just residual. It's intelligent. With that Prince of Swords. Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, let's see what else. We draw some extras. We get the Prince of Wands, along with that Prince of Swords. So I feel like there's intelligence, and I feel like some ability here to physically move things is just what kind of came to me, not lying. Yes, and there's some things that have to be discovered there, that have not yet been found. And it does deal with, I think, a tomb or a burial. With this Five of Pentacles, it might be one of the less grandiose. This is when it was starting to go in decline. Maybe when the nation began to go into a period of decline. With this Five of Pentacles, this would be perhaps problems with food, problems with staying well, deals with illness, and also, I think, being invading forces coming in where you're not doing as well. So we're shown a decline in strength and economy and well-being. So there's something yet there that has yet to be found. I feel like it has to do with tombs, in all likelihood. Yes, so there were some changes as they were in a more difficult time period, it looks like. Where they made some changes in how they did things there and what they maintained and kept up. Change of planning, changing in how they were doing things. Maybe they started using some different materials, or materials that were not as expensive, or frankly, it just feels to me like it was not at that expensive level of materials and builders that it was or had been in the past, and we're being shown that. I also feel like this could be some of the workers that were building it that may have even passed in that space. But there's something about when the Egyptian country started to go and have some hard times here, there's something that reflects that under these, with these pyramids. And I feel like it deals with materials, how they plan to upkeep it at some point, and what they were using to do material-wise to do that with. Then there's the Nine of Cups, and the Two of Pentacles. So this Nine of Cups typically is about a bit of like splendor. It's meant to be more grandiose, worth more. You know, there's a lot of, would be like valuable materials. And there's something here where there might be some valuable material yet that has remained undiscovered. And it might be in an area where maybe I'm just getting to ward off tomb raiders or that sort of thing, that they may have made it look less nice. But inside there might be something that's very valuable yet to be discovered. Yes, there was something that they did to confuse on purpose, I think, in order to dissuade people from thinking, hey, that looks like a wealthy tomb, let's bust into that or try to get into that. Yeah, there's something that they did to confuse the public. I think there are also passages that lead nowhere. I just got a feeling like they would be like crawling in underneath there, and they may not get out. They might get confused, because I do feel like there were deliberate tunnels that didn't lead anywhere. And there's confusion, and I think it is to protect tombs and things of wealth that were inside some of these compartments and places underneath. There is mourning and there is sorrow here. There is energy of that. And it's like the art of grieving. With that Eight of Pentacles, there are certain rituals of mourning that I feel echo still there. There's a lot of grieving there's heartbreak. I think particularly of scavengers, people that were trying to go in there and tomb raid. I don't think everyone got out. But I also feel that there's a lot of sorrow for places that did get scavenged. That's interesting. I'm picking this up visually. What else am I going to get with that? Yeah. There is definitely spiritual energy that is intelligent and that can act, can manifest, and communicate. Yep, the moon. It's more underworld. You have a lot of underworld gods, goddesses, this kind of energy, and beings. I know that the underworld god begins, I think, with an A. What is his name? I gotta get that. It's gonna make me crazy. Now, just to give you some names, like Osiris is the god of the underworld and death. So that's one. Very, very well known. I just want to give you some more possibilities here. there's like Osiris was one of Egypt's, most important ones. I know that. And he symbolized death, but also had a connection to water. Okay? And so like I'm getting that he's really connected. That doesn't surprise me that. And according to myth, Osiris was a king of Egypt that was murdered and dismembered by his brother Seth. Okay? Yeah, they had some really heavy-duty, interesting stories there. And Isis was his wife and resurrected him and reassembled his body. Okay. So he's one of them. Then you have Horus, which is the falcon with the man's head, with war and hunting. Seth is the god of chaos, violence, deserts, and storms, just so you know. I think it's cool to go through these. Ptah, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, is the head of the triad of gods worshipped in Memphis. Sekhmet, his wife, and Nefertium, their son. But I don't feel like that's any of the ones that I was feeling. Bastet. Ammon, let's see. Now they didn't have the one I wanted there. I'm distinctly getting Anubis. That's it. Anubis. Yeah, he's the god of the dead, represented by a jackal or a figure of a man with the head of a jackal, not a dog. Okay. And so his thing was a funeral cult of the dead, reputed to be the inventor of embalming and the art of that. That his first apparently customer was Osiris. Very interesting. Okay, so that's what I was seeing, Anubis. So I'm feeling like Osiris, Anubis, this kind of energy, very underworld, very creepy for people that, definitely there. Anubis is connected to mummification and the cemeteries and tombs, so he would have definitely been there. And is there. Anubis helps to judge the souls. So back where we got judgment, which was earlier, I guess, that definitely rings true. I'm so fascinated. Let's continue to see what I'm going to clear these away now so that we can continue. And this is very interesting. We're getting the Six of Swords. So now we're getting the energy where we're moving out of the place of the in-between to go on to the world of spirit with the Six of Swords. This is so cool. I'm so enjoying this. And they go into a wealthy afterlife. Look at that. They're like, once they cross over, it's so much better. And I feel like the human beings literally were, in truth, ferried over by their gods and their ancestors, and they're in a very beautiful existence. And they're free. They do not have, it would show, the heaviness about the lessons of the earth on them anymore. It's peaceful. It would be a beautiful place. With that Nine of Pentacles, that's so interesting. The Wheel of Fortune. So this is after you've completed your mission here on Earth. There's this change that comes in with the Wheel of Fortune. And I feel like, again, it's interesting we're getting major arcana. There's so much major arcana, big energy connected to, big spiritual energy connected to those pyramids yet. And like I said, it's not just residual. There is intelligent beings that remain guarding that place. And I would imagine that would put your skin into goose flesh if you felt it and you sensed it. So bless Miss Hughes, which she has my maiden name. Ace of Swords. Yeah, there's definite clarity here about, it's all about assisting them to leave the earth, to transverse that in between earth and the next better afterlife, better vibrational realms. And it helps to sever you so that you don't stay earthbound. I really get that here. There was a real feeling of, I think the Egyptians may have had, about being earthbound. They didn't want to become a ghost, and they felt that these, and I think it actually did work, that these beings would assist them to go to the afterlife and to not get stuck in the lower realm. Okay? And they would get judged. There, it's not like they get there and despite being a jerk as a leader or whatever, they live with sunshine and moonbeams. No. They would face having to, own up to whatever negative that they shouldn't have done, all of that. To me, it just feels like it's all, they had to deal with that. They had their own routine, their own method of doing that. Yeah, this is about creating a new energy elsewhere, that you are secure in your, I feel like, transition. That's what these places serve as, a means to help these souls not remain earthbound, and calling upon deity to assist them and help them traverse realms so that they would be secure. Yes, balance. And so they'll be judged. The weighing of your heart against a feather, all that. Let's put these. I have Hathor, statue of Hathor, on my altar here. I like her. Look at that. So I'm feeling like highly protective deities. Again, all about making sure that this death business was sorted out, that your details, were met, that anything that needed to be sorted out would get sorted out so that you could get on with moving on. And I feel like these realms offered, or the building the place the way they did, I think it does create or did create a means for, I think, deity to come quickly into that sphere and assist the person with the judgment and going over their life and helping them to do that so that they could move on and wouldn't remain stuck. Very quick. It's like it's meant to be a expedited and more secure way to leave the earth, not get stuck in the in-between realms, and to really move on to the better place. This, I feel like, is a goddess. And she is connected with the action of ensuring that you moved, it looks like, in the afterlife safely to the next realm, the next land, if you will, the next afterlife world. I wonder which one that would be. I'll have to look up, after I get done with this, the Egyptian gods and goddesses. Now, here we have a sense of futility with the Five of Swords. It can be being a hard ass, frankly. It can be not being the most ethical, being a bit of a meanie. That comes in. I feel like there's a female that deals with that aspect of someone's behavior. This is defense and reclaiming boundaries. I think this female might protect from thug-like spirits. Seriously, because this is protection. And she's all about getting you safely. That's so interesting. Look at that. Eight of Cups, which is moving on. This is all about to help you move on. To help you process so that you can move on and leave your completed earthly life behind you. I think they were so worried about not being able to successfully as a culture. They didn't want to become ghosts. I feel definitely that. And so I feel like she was a bit of a protector. Maybe this is Isis, I'm not sure. But against, I feel like, tomb raiders trying to steal treasures, especially here because there's a lot of, the Nine of Pentacles and the Four of Pentacles. This is basic wealth. So they had priests, I'm seeing, put deities seriously, and it worked, in charge of protecting the tombs of these people and their souls so that they could have what they needed on the other side, etc. Now, some of these tombs we know were raided, but I wouldn't want to be them because I think that somehow they ended up paying for doing that. Yeah, and this is about expansion again. This is about choices, expansion of energies, vital energies. And to me, this is like taking your energy, because we are energy, and going from the earth to spirit. I feel like it's from one place to another. Yes, overflowing. And so you're cleansed, you've been purified, you've processed your issues, let's say, to be succinct. And you're clean. You're clean from, I feel like, negativity that you may have held. You will process it. Yeah, so here's that new start, a new journey, so that you could have a new journey, new life. Yes, and these are the priests. Wow. They would bless and direct the energies to help those that were buried there. To make sure that they were taken a certain route. There may have been a certain route. And you know what? Look at the star in the middle of that labyrinth. I know that they have something with the stars, and all the stars coming out of the Hierophant's head. I feel like their priests were really powerful. Dang. Dang, that's some strong energy. It's really strong. This is the past. And their children. And again, I get that sense of being taken and brought to another reality, another way where you can live, just not with the body. It's the spirit body. I feel like there's children in that tomb. Or, not in that. I feel like there are children somewhere within that setup of pyramids, quite possibly. Infants, maybe, or very young children. Yes. That Knight of Wands. I wonder if they ever see children around there, because I feel like there's this could be some residual energy acting out. That kind of bleeds through. Where I think you might be able, if you're sensitive enough, to see phenomena from the past. These were being told again that these pyramids were built to help people cross over, so that they would not be wandering ghosts or be stuck in an oppressive level of where evil or negative could control them or prevent them. Definitely. Yeah, so it was about to help you endure the process and to help you get through your judgment, your life review, and deal with whatever you needed to deal with, process that, no small task, by the way, so you could move on. It was just really amazing spirit, a place between earth and the spiritual realms, and the in between that, and the in-between realms, which I'm getting. I never had, I mean, like I knew, but I didn't know. So this is really so fascinating. To me, these are I'm getting the workers, that this took a long time, and I see fighting, arguing, wars. Where it may have been a struggle to get certain materials, certain goods. But they fought very, very, yeah. There's a collaboration again. Yes, and connection, bond. I feel like these people were very bonded with these deities and with spirit just in general, and they really relied on them to help them process. I feel like there's a great deal of study that they undertook. Maybe studying of certain struggles, wars. Very learned people. Of course, more the upper class. Because I do feel like you had your definite class system going on. But there's a bond between these deities and these other realms connected to that land, those tunnels, those shafts, and it's still in place today, and it's still just as strong with that Two of Cups. It's bonded. They watch over. Let's see what else. I'm getting a female deity. She feels very motherly, this one. Could this be Isis? But she's got fire connected to her. It could be a queen that's in there that we're being shown. And her family. I'm going to have to read more about who's been buried in there. And a child? Oh, a child that may have died. Or been even killed. King of Swords. And a man that didn't do something he should have to either protect or help. Maybe he couldn't. Or he kept something back. Now these are more earthly cards. Heavy conscience a man had here. And I think in connection to maybe having someone in his family pass. So that they could, I feel like with that Three of Pentacles, extend their influence further. So there was a lot of that kind of stuff going on. I know that they would be killing each other to become the leader. So that is what I'm getting on the tunnels and the pyramids in themselves and that which is underneath them, the land itself. I hope you enjoyed that. I sure did. And I'm going to go read more on the Egyptian deities, which I find fascinating. So if you like this, thumbs up, please. Make sure you share this with people that you think will enjoy it. And also, just make sure you're subscribed. So put on your notification bell, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.